Okay, welcome to my video. I am an Intel innovator. This arrived through the post. It is an A750 and I'm going to show you what's inside this box and maybe later show you what it does. So let's get cracking. This is broken seal, but I only had to open it to find out what was delivered this morning. But apart from that, this is completely unseen by me. So you're seeing it at the same time I am. And I did see that. It's upside down for you, but it's the right way up for me. It says let's play. Absolutely awesome. Because of the outside, just like a regular, cargo box. Just get it to me in one piece. But it literally laminated the inside of this really cool logo. It makes it like a pity to throw the box away now, even though it looks like a regular cardboard box. Oh, gold. Yeah, so I just opened up the two flaps and they've engineered the box so the whole thing raises up. When you move the flap like that, the whole thing came up. Wow, thank you very much. Just making it a little bit easier for me to get it out. So it looks like it's a box within a box. So we're doing the Russian doll trick, and it slides out like so. As I said, oh, let me just show you this box first. This is how they did it. See? So it was on a little piece of cardboard, and the flap pulled up, it raised it up. Nice little bit of engineering there. I expect nothing less from Intel. I suppose I could say a word on sponsorship. I am an Intel innovator, which means sometimes we do have access to extremely early production hardware for the purpose of testing and getting some insights from some developers, such as myself, who've been around for decades. So in that sense, I guess it is a kind of sponsorship. But I'm also a busy chap, so this will just be part of my day-to-day working life. Got to test my own games engine with this hardware. So hopefully the focus isn't too bad. I think the camera will take care of that. Sorry if everything seems to be upside down. Maybe there's something we can do in post-processing which can flip the video. But yeah, as I said, first unboxing ever. So let's check this out, a box within a box. We've got a insulation, pop these off like so, create a nice little Tetris block there, and let's see what we got inside. Standard safety instructions: do not shove your finger in a power socket. Warning, possible electric shock, definite electric shock if we did that. Generally, if you don't know the protocols, read everything. I've been around long enough to know not to stick my finger in electrical sockets or fry circuitry by imposing quite a lot of static on it. Okay, so what we're looking at, let me just get this better into view. Two sections. We got decent GPU. Looks massive, heavy with heat sinks. That shows it's going to do a good job. We've got this little booklet here and another booklet here. Okay, let's start with the little one, graphics card. Okay, I think this is just something like a quick start to give you a very quick idea of what's going on. Not all of it is English. Yeah, it's just this one little half a page here, and you can see it on the camera. It's this part here. It's actually a third of a page. This graphics card is intended to be professionally installed. That's me. Can't get more professional than me. Take proper electrostatic discharges. Yeah. Basically, you don't want to be touching circuitry if you've got a high amount of static electricity on your person. So just ground yourself. Find anything that's metal. My entire computer's metal, so I'm grounding myself on that. And then I'm relatively static free. There you go, free advice during this unboxing, and of course we've got a card. Thank you for oh, it's a little sticker. Like, get sticker. That goes on my computer. Cool. So there is the documentation, and we're left with the box and the card. Let me show you around this little beast. So we've got two fans. Okay. Well done, Lee. You're doing well so far in your unboxing. We've got like a sticker here which says Engineering sample, not for sale or lease. As an Intel innovator, that is a given. We use these things to destruction, and in the process we create software that can tap into the best features of hardware as it's coming out. Do you ever wonder why when a piece of hardware comes out the software is already ready for it? That's because certain developers get early access to the hardware, so we can make sure our stuff works before you get your hands on both hardware and software. Right, power. You've got an 8-pin and a 6-pin. Now, having built many computers in the past, that's pretty hungry. If you have a motherboard, make sure that its power supply that comes out gives you both 8 and a 6. Don't try and fudge it with some 4s pushed in together. Dedicated 8, a dedicated 6. And there's a little profile on these holes, so you can only put it in one way. And I digress. If any of this seems alien to you, it's probably a good idea if you let a professional do it, as has already been stated. So on this side, on the underside, I would say, no, it's the top side, the Intel Arc, some lovely heatsink fins. On the front, this looks really cool. Arc A750 limited edition. Oh yes, limited edition. And a nice little silver strip down there. This looks like a protector. It is a protector. And there you go. PCI Express port. Clicky clicky. Power it up. And let's see what we got on this. In fact, let's put the protection back. It's there for a reason until you start your installation process. To protect the pins. And at the top, aside from the little sticker, which definitely should be removed before we shove that into the bowls of your computer installation, we have 4 ports, which I'm going to guess is DisplayPort. 1 DisplayPort, 2 DisplayPort, 3 DisplayPort. Ahaha! Okay, I was expecting a 4th DisplayPort. It's a HDMI. Phew. So if you're not lucky enough to own a monitor that has a DisplayPort, I presume it's DisplayPort. I'm not really that big on terminology, but you do get good old-fashioned HDMI, and that means pretty much anyone will be able to plug this card into whatever monitor we got, outside of the realm of history, where you might still have a VGA monitor, in which case you probably won't be able to plug this in straight away. So that is the current state of my unboxing. There's no more boxes inside boxes. This card is now going to be deprotected with this and the sticker, and then dropped into a computer, and then we can run some tests, see how fast it is, see if there's any cool things we can find out about it when it's live, or as I would like to say, energized. So this is part A of the unboxing. You've seen it as I've seen it. Very exciting. It is definitely substantial. This is going to be a pretty decent GPU once I drop it in. So let's find out what I'm going to drop it into. I'm going to say hello to another box. Now, does anybody know what this is, boys and girls? Any clues? Yes, I got probably the clue. I'll show you the back. See? It's a little baby computer called a NUC. Now we need to get in this thing, and as this is an unboxing, we'll take ourselves quite literally. We're going to unbox this NUC, and I have never opened this before. I've been using it to test integrated graphics with the graphics and games engine that I work on, but I need to get in this now. Now the trick, how do we get a GPU graphics card into this NUC? This NUC is designed to take a great big GPU, so we're going to assume it's also designed to be really easy to get into. And like all engineers, I ain't going to read no instruction manual. I'm just going to try and figure it out myself. There must be a very, very logical way of getting inside this thing. Okay, found a great video, and it seems we do have some screws we can play with. and it was the screws we saw earlier. Definitely these are not going to unscrew lots of clever things that shouldn't be unscrewed. That is our initial way in. And it looks like they're small Phillips, so let's go get some tools. Okay, so I have some things which can help from time to time. Little stubbies, as they're called. I also have this, which has other lovely things in it, including, if you look at this, it's a small Phillips. See? These stubbies are really quite large, and I don't really want to damage things. So if we just have a quick look at this. Yeah, that fits real nice. Okay, that's the one we're going to use. Just make sure you get to see. No point doing an unboxing if all the cool action happens off camera. So let's do this. Now apparently this just comes off. La 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 la. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Let me put some of my tools to one side. If there's any side I can use. Okay. Remember that gap we saw earlier, where I thought this pulled off? It's the other way around. It's that. It goes off in this direction. So that pulls off there first. And remember those fins I was talking about on this side? Like that. Well, those actually are the anchors. So that comes off this way and then out. So I don't know. It's an extremely long-winded explanation video of how to take off the back face of a NUC, which literally everybody else probably already knew. Put that there just to keep it visible so we know what we've done. But nothing we need to remember yet, and it's easy to continue in the reverse order and put everything back. Okay, what's next? Well, we need to get this GPU in this box. As you can see, this is like a miniature motherboard. This is not moving anywhere, because obviously this is basically our motherboard, all our computer. And you can see we've got 1, 2, 3 PCI slots. So I would imagine I get access to it from this side. And if I look here, there is what looks like, I don't know, it looks cool. But does this whole thing come off? Yeah, I thought so. It wasn't a screw, it was just like a piece of connecting stuff. But yeah, I pulled it up, so I'll show you in profile so you can see what I did. Yeah, see this? It comes up like that and then back down again. I wanted to put it back, so see, down, up, down, up. So that's exactly how it comes off. Up and out. And let's just make sure there's no wires. No wires connected. So that comes off cleanly. Now I do need to remember the orientation, but it looks like at the back, these two things tell you that's for the back. So it's pretty easy to put it back. And the pump. Put that to one side. Lid in such a way that I can easily grab it and put it back into this orientation, like so. With that in mind, we can now flip it down to its side. And we're where we wanted to be 10 minutes ago. So what have we got? I love this. You know, I'm looking at that and it's the same, it's nearly the same shape as the one on the front. Okay, so what we're looking at, I assume all of that is some sort of protective cover or a fan of some description. Could be. There's a nice set of fans up here, leaving as much alone as possible, and a huge number of wires. There's only one reason to give me this many wires, is to give me power. Lovely power. And just as I mentioned before in the part A of the unboxing, I don't know whether we can get focused in on that, but that is 8-pin. This is a 6-pin. This is a 6-pin, 2 6s, a 2. Now what you can usually do is add the 2 to the 6 to make it another 8. And here's another 2, which can add to the other 6 to make that an 8. It gives you a lot of configurable options. Which means, remember before I was talking about you could put 2 4s together, but you had to sort of hack it a bit and it never really worked. This is a much better set of options. You could have 2 graphics cards potentially, which both need 8s. But we've got a bit of a beast here, which needs a lot of power, so it'll take this big dedicated 8, and we'll use a single one of the 6s, and that'll provide our power. Now in terms of orientation, remember those power ports are at the top, and if we look here, it couldn't make it any more obvious. The great big blue PCI port, that's probably where our graphics card is going to be. There's a little, I don't know if you can see this, but see this which goes up and down, up and down. Make sure it's in the down position, and then when you push the PCI in, it'll click up and lock it into place. Really like this side loading of the GPU, because when you're top loading, trying to get that and push it down without stabbing a screwdriver into your motherboard, yeah, it's a bit hit and miss. But here, when you open the case, you can just click that, get the graphics card out. Let's hope it fits, people. Alright, first thing though, before we get into that, are these cables going to let me easily get it to the top? I don't think so. It's got these little ties. So let's give ourselves some flexibility. And then we'll put it back like, oh, yeah, that's interesting. See this? It's like it's a non-permanent zip tie. Not sure how effective it is. I think maybe you got to do that and then click it up. Yeah, that's how it works. Pretty cool. Alright, we'll save that one for later. Now we have access to lots of wires. So this is me 8. I want one of them. That one leads to a 6 and 8. Yeah, I'll tell you what we'll do. We'll have the most flexibility, so we'll use the 6 right at the end. Along with that one, those are going to be our power for this graphics card. And with that mentioned, let's go grab ourselves a GPU graphics card. Well, look, we just happen to have an A750. So we'll grab that. This is what we're going to put in today. And as I said, there's 2 protections that we need to remove. First one is this. Otherwise you won't get very far putting your PCI Express in. The second one, probably easy to miss, is this paper sticker. Remember, paper and electricity don't really mix. Let's get rid of that. Stick it to that. Triple check. No other protective things. I think we're alright. There's a little yeah, QR code here. Not really happy about sticking that paper into the jaws of the PCI Express. But I don't know if it's a locator or whether it does have pins. Yeah, there's no pins. It's just plastic, so that's just a locator. We're okay, we're good. Now, the tricky part, getting this in here in such a way as I don't break anything. But right away you can see, where's the camera? Okay, you can see it's a doubler, right? What I mean by doubler, it's going to take 2 slots up, 2 PCI Express slots. So I need to take the face plates off the back of the NUC and take both of these off. And as you can see, these fins at the bottom and these locators at the top. So now we've seen the graphics card, I'll put that to one side. carefully. And we'll take these blanking plates off, which you'll find here. So if I show you what I'm talking about. 1, 2, these are in my way now. I need these out the way if I'm going to put a graphics card in. And usually they're screwed down or clicked down. They're not usually left to rattle about. They are secured in some way, so I'm now going to find out which method has been used. Okay, I think I found it. If you can just have a look at the at this end, which is the bit I'm interested in. See where my finger is. See these 2 screws here? Those 2 screws look like they're screwed in and not allowing me to take them out easily because there's a blanking plate above it. So let me have a bit of a play. Sorry if it doesn't make for good watching, but we need to make sure that we're not pulling things out unnecessarily. Okay, I think I figured it out. You know, I don't know whether I'm right in my assumptions here, but if you're watching this video, you're probably in the class of what everyone else would agree is engineer. And there's one thing engineers love, and that's to sort of unravel what another engineer has thought up and figure out why did they do it this way, is it a good way, is there a better way? And if you follow my reasoning, see this screw here, that's connected to this plate which runs all the way along here, which in a way protects this, and behind here is the screws I want to get at. I call that a security measure. It slows down the time it takes someone to steal your GPU. Now, call me cynical, but that's my opinion. And I have seen similar mechanisms elsewhere, so I'm assuming that's why this is the way it is. Not such a bad idea. Steal a graphics card in your lunch break, who'd know? Okay, another screw. It looks identical to the other ones, but I'm going to keep it separate for obvious reasons. Okay, are you moving? Yes, it's moving. I think you've got a good view. See how I'm hitting that? That also might be a security thing, but we'll keep going. But yeah, there you go. Little pivoty thing, and that's definitely security. Okay, so what have we bought ourselves? I think we bought ourselves access to these screws. Remember what I was talking about? Possibly 2 screws. Well, there they are. You need to get rid of these in order to get rid of these 2 blanking plates. So let's have at it. Okay, that's one way to liberate the screw. Managed to find it in time. So that's that one. And the plate, we won't need this plate, but we'll put it here to show where that screw came from. We'll need the screw again, most likely, when we put the new graphics card in. We need to secure that graphics card, and these 2 screws are for that purpose. Yeah, well, it didn't have to spray anything, so there's the second one, and the second cover plate. So these 2 screws. Up is down, Lee. Yeah, these 2 screws are going to be used for the graphics card, and we'll put it back in. Okay, we are making progress. Just had a quick look inside. I've not disturbed anything. The 2 plates, when they fell, they just fell right to the bottom, and all they really hit was the inside of the case and a really thick, nice looking wire, which if I follow it round, looks like it's going to LEDs. Okay, let's stick a graphics card in carefully. So the best way to do this is give ourselves some space as much as possible without losing our screw mat. That's 2. Flippy. Let's find out best way to do this. My opinion, let gravity help you. So I'm going to prop it up like that. Do a pretend. Look at the size of this. Okay. So it's going to go in like that, a bit further up, further back. Already I can see, you see this cable? That doesn't need to be there. It shouldn't be there and can't be there, but we do need it out of the way for a minute, so I'm going to try and get them all over here where they're not going to be in my way for now. You there, you there, you there. That's out of the way. This graphics card will press that and press that. Should be okay. Yeah. It's designed, it looks funny now, it's designed to be nice and flat against that. That's cool. Yeah, one thing about NUCs, don't expect vast quantities of space inside. You know, the engineers have gone to great efforts to make this as compact and as small and portable as possible. And so that's something you're going to have to accept when you install your own stuff. So I'm just going to offer this up, just get it in first, like so. Once it's, the one end is in, move it up, look for those blades, remember the blades, grab it in the middle. Try not to touch anything metal, yeah, because you don't want a resumed electrical static charge hitting it. Now, you can't see this, but I can, but I'm using gravity, so gravity's going to go down as I'm going in. But I can see the blue PCI Express port lining up really nicely. This side loading is so much better than top loading. You can literally see the blade going straight in, exactly where it needs to be. But you probably noticed something already. You don't, because you can't see it. But once this goes in and I click it down, there is no way I'm going to be able to get those two power. Look, that's it. My finger can't move up and down. In fact, let me show you. Don't damage too much stuff. Right. Yeah, look, that's that. I can't get two power cables in and then down. So what does we think about that? Well, we need to get the power in, plugged into this card before we mount it. That makes sense, doesn't it? Okay, let's do that then, people. Make sure we're solid. 8 and a 6. So let's get it out again. Careful. There is no rush here. There's a hell of a wait if you have to send it back to the shop. So take all the time you need. Measure twice, cut once. Okay, want the 8 first, this is the biggie. Twist it in such a way that it will flatten. As you can see, you've got a tab here. And a locating one here, so it wants to be like that. I'd like it like that. Because then it will go away. But for whatever reason, it wants to be like that. So maybe, does it push against the top? Could it go up and round like that? Yeah, it probably could. Alright, so we'll hear that click. It's nicely and firmly in place. And again, this is nice. The 6 is actually the right way around, so we can just offer that up like so. And again, lovely little firm click. Firm click because look, you pull the cables, it won't come out. They're nicely located. So now we don't need to sort out the power once everything's done. And once this GPU is clicked into this PCI Express port, I kind of didn't want to take it out again. You know, you don't really want to be fighting around with the motherboard if there's something weak, some weak soldering, you might loosen it and you ruin everything. So the less number of steps, the better. Okay, so now we're ready to try that again. End in first, sort out the cables as we go. So we need to both ends in. They're in. Now we put in the PCI. See, oh yeah, as you can see where this cable is sort of like that. So make sure the cable, this cable I think will take care of itself. Just bend round, offer it up. Now you can't see, but I can. The GPU's PCI Express blades, the pins as it were, lining up nicely with the blue port. Yeah. And I'm just going to have a look, see if we're okay here as well, which of course is offering up the graphics card so they slot into the two blades down here. It's a bit too high right now. Fortunately, remember those little rubber protectors for the ports? I can hold on to those to make micro adjustments. Okay, yeah, whoa, there you go. So that lovely sound is the GPU slotting into place. So I'll just show you what I've done. What did you do, Lee? This is the bit you're looking at. You can see it. Pushy in this direction, and they located perfectly into the PCI Express slot. And if we look around here, you'll see as well this. Oh, can you see that? You can't see anything. This and this is actually the GPU, because we got rid of these, if you remember, these things. They're gone. And now we've got them filled up with these two. And what I wanted to show you is this. The little fins protruding at the end. That's what it should look like, lined up with all the other ones. So there you go. We're nearly there. There's a couple more things we need to do. What we need to do, in fact, is this little thing which protects it. Well, before we secure that, we need to put some screws back in here to make sure this graphics card doesn't move on its journey to providing juicy goodness, juicy graphics goodness. Okay, now as I'm looking, it's not quite aligned, but it never really is. But we have some play with the graphics card. I can see both holes, so we should be all right. Yeah, okay. Don't think you can see this. Maybe I should demonstrate what I wasn't super happy with. Yeah, you can probably see that. You see, I'm pushing the graphics card and it's moving around. I want to line it up so this hole here, it's lining up nicely so my screw can go straight in. Same with that one there. So I can just keep pushing on that just so it's nice and central. It'll make sure that the screw goes in a lot easier. My little plastic doobie thing has just popped out, but that's okay because this first screw is now holding it all in place. But now the plastic thing I was talking about before, this is what it does. It grabs. When you're a 10-thumbed no-lobe. Yes. Right, there's a flush. Just have to get them flush, because when you do that, you want to be able to close this fine. Now remember our map. We had these, which are now surplus to requirements. You can put them in your box. Finish with that. We're left with these screws and these screws. So in order, we've got this single one. What's that for? Well, it's probably for this. So if we look at that, move that out the way. That goes down. I think it's that screw there. That's probably a good guess. That'll keep it all nice and tight. Okay, let's try this. In you go. And in you go. Going a long way in. Now, why am I putting it all back together instead of just testing the card quickly? Which would be very prudent. Well, because because I got no choice. It either works or it doesn't work. I've done everything right, which is 2 power plugs and into the only PCI Express socket there is available. I haven't got anything wrong. The only downside is if the hardware is in some way broken, but then there's nothing else I can do. So there you go, that's now in. Security re-established. Let's now check for neatness. That click, this has come off like 4 times. You see this side? Yeah, that comes off, you see. And the idea is you offer it up at the bottom, slide up to the top, see, and then once the bottom's nice and secure, the top clicks into place, but every time I'm lifting it, I'm lifting the opposite side off. So we'll avoid that and flip it on its side, we can see it again. And now we do what's called cable tidying. So the fans are here. And there's good, there's good space. The fan airflow is fine. That could be tucked in there. There's no fans, there's no catch points. So all those cables don't need this. I was going to use this and then tie all the cables back up again. Instead, that's going in my private collection in case I need it in the future. But these cables are already nice and neat. In fact, no, let me just show you a gotcha. I'll see that sort out. You see this, that little thing there. You don't want that getting into a fan. And there is a grate and a fan here, just here, you can see it. But because that 6er is connected to that, what I'm going to do is tuck it in right there. So no matter how much vibration goes on, that little one is always going to be tucked in there. Also this one here, that's another 2er. You want that tucked out the way, so stick that under one of the big thick cables. So I'd have to do a lot of worming, indeed, to get into a place where it might shove itself into a fan as it's spinning round and round. There you go. Press down. Nice, neat cables, and not in the way of this top bit. So I think that's it. We've got 4 screws left. That's in. It's really pressed. Make sure it's, you don't see any pins. Yeah, that's fine. Let's pop this on. As I said, there's only one way it can go on, which of course is offer that up there. Just nice and thing, and then just keep whilst pressed. Just push it back into place, and then flippy back round. Got both sides on again, and finally we want to put the end piece on. And as you might imagine, you want to do the fins first, and that clicks down. Well, clicks is probably an inoperative word. It might resist. Oh, I see. There's little plastic guides that probably won't be in the right place before. There it is. Always, it's always satisfying when you hear a click, because it means the manufacturer is kind of giving you the nod. Yep, that's the right kind of clicky noise you should have heard. I think what we'll probably do is secure the furthest corner first. Work our way radially. That's where we came in. And we've got some bits. What bits do we have? Well, we got that, we got that, we got that. And these are the tools you need for the job. And these bits, which is a sticker and a protection for the GPU pins. And we're back where we started. So let's square away our tools. Everything that you have left over, always stick back in your box. You never know when they're going to come in. Put these to the side. And we have super powered. Now, yes. Luke, I've made a mistake. Ooh, look at this. Anyone can spot the mistake. So when that was slid in, notice it's missed. Yeah, I can get this to you. Good sides. Luke, that gap shouldn't be there. It should be clicked in. and you could try and force it, but there's like some anchors and they have to slide underneath 2 tabs. At the moment they're above it. Doesn't interfere with the working of the device, but aesthetically horrible. So let's get that fixed. Unfortunately, the only way to do that is to reverse everything I've just done, i.e. these 4 screws. So this is the power of video editing, I suppose. We can fast forward through this part. Phew! One last check. Front, back, sides, perfect. Okay, we are now on NUC powerhouse with massive GPU inside it. As you can see from the back, the business end, we actually have 3. Now when this is sitting on its floor ceiling, this is the floor. Let's just find out, because squirreling around the backs of things, is the HDMI at the bottom of the top. It's at the bottom. So the first one lowest to the ground, is HDMI, then the rest the DisplayPort. And just to familiarise ourselves, we also have some USBs. I'm going to guess they're all USB 3s, because the blue. You've also got here HDMI built into the NUC. That's the integrated graphics, which currently supporting HDMI. Obviously, network port, and it looks like 2 USB blurry USB Type C's, 2 of, and that completes the complement. There's a couple of rubbery things there, which I think you peel off from all ports, but yeah, generally that's the business end. Kensington lock port and power. Now when I pulled this out of its system, its test system, I had power, I had HDMI so I could see what I'm doing, and I had a mouse and a keyboard into the USB, and I also had my LAN cable to provide some interweb, although I'm not sure whether this one has Wi-Fi as well, but always good to go with wired if possible. Right, so that is an installation of the NUC GPU the long way round. Okay, so that's the second part done. We took our empty NUC. Not that it was empty, it was crammed with powerful stuff, but now it's crammed with one more piece of powerful stuff, which is the A750 GPU from Intel. We're going to energize this unit. I think it uses, used to use HDMI in its test rig, but maybe if we've got a DisplayPort handy, we'll use that, because it's just a better protocol for displaying higher resolution images. Give it some power, give it keyboard and mouse, interweb port, and yeah, let's see what this baby can do. Okay, so we're going to take the NUC and put it onto our test rig. I say test rig, we're just going to connect up some cables which were previously connected to the NUC. So we'll do power last. We're still in HDMI, so let's just kick things off with as little change as possible. So we're going to put that one back in. I'm going to plug in keyboard and a mouse, and finally some power, 240 volts. 230 volts, sorry. And we are reconnected. We have a monitor, we've got a NUC with a power button. So we put the power button on. Don't know if you can see it, it's pretty cool frontage. Got LED lighting. Can you see it from there? You can see a bit of LED. Okay, so whilst that's happening, we'll also put on the monitor, because we plugged in the HDMI. So this should show what we see on the NUC. I've just popped in a graphics card for the first time, and already I know that we've done something wrong, but this is the fun part, people. HDMI 1 booting sequence. Can anybody guess what Lee did wrong? He plugged his HDMI port into the motherboard integrated graphics. So that's what we're going to see. We're literally not connected to the GPU that we've just spent the last 30 minutes putting in. So that's fine. That's fine. At least we haven't broken the NUC. So let's just put in my secret 18-digit password. So the NUC still works. That's great. But that's not what we're interested in. We're interested in the GPU that we've put in. So let's rewind time and let's put the HDMI in the correct hole. So I'm going to shut down. Sorry, NUC. Always a good idea, people, to switch off the power before you start unplugging and plugging things in ports at the back of your computer. Just in case the computer happens to be doing something. So as we remembered, the HDMI was at the bottom. So I'm going to grab that little handle at the bottom. Yep, that's HDMI. So we'll yank it out of there. Now we're going to shove it in there. So now the HDMI is going to come out of the new GPU card. Now solid connection that. We've done a good job making sure that GPU was well seated. And with that in, we'll just press the NUC again. In fact, can I show you some cool stuff? There you go. A little bit of a view of what's going on. Press the power button at the front. You should be able to see it now. LED magic. And we got this. Yeah, that's our HDMI stopper. Oh, good to keep those. Stops dust getting in your ports. We see screenage. What does that mean? Well, it means the graphics card is working, otherwise you wouldn't see anything. The HDMI is now plugged into the GPU card. The fact we can see anything on the monitor is a good sign. The next step, of course, is drivers, fully functional, etc, etc. So we need a keyboard. So a secret 18-digit password. Ahaha, already you can see the difference. Widescreen, so it's already looking different. I suspect we may not even need to have new drivers. It may just already figure that part out. But let's go through the motions. Let's get drivers set up. Yeah. Okay, let's begin the installation. Agree to everything. Okay, after a Microsoft update, a Steam update and a Game Guru Max update, can we launch? We can. Hooray, Game Guru Max Early Access. This is our version of a performance test. Test level. Performance 60 FPS. And the performance, full speed. Yeah, there you go. Perfect. That's what we want to see. So there you go. We did an unboxing. We did an unboxing of an unboxing. We unboxed the NUC. We put the GPU into the NUC. We reinstalled the drivers, ran it, run Game Guru Max's performance test. Worked great. So that's all we've got time for, folks. Hope you found this educational, informative, and I look forward to making more videos like this soon. So until then, catch you later. Bye.